We have an on-premises Active Directory domain named contoso.com, which contains an organizational unit named OU1. There is an Azure subscription linked to a Microsoft Entra tenant named fabricam.com, which is synchronized with contoso.com. Within this subscription, a Microsoft Entra Domain Services managed domain has been created named domain1.onmicrosoft.com. The configuration details are shown in the following table. The table shows two columns, property and value. Row 1, DNS domain name, domain1.onmicrosoft.com. Row 2, location, East US. Row 3, IP addresses, East US /10.0.2.4, 10.0.2.4. Row 4, secure LDAP, disabled. Row 5, secure LDAP external IP addresses, East US /52.188.201.46. Row 6, synchronization, all. Row 7, admin group, AAD DC Administrators. In the managed domain, we have created two organizational units, OU1 and OU2. The question asks, how many synthetic network endpoints, or SNIs, would be created for LDAP AS monitoring using Azure Monitor? The key point to remember here is that synthetic network endpoints are created per synchronization scope. In this case, the synchronization scope is all, which means the entire managed domain. So we need to look at which synchronization scope is actually used in this scenario. The correct answer is A, 1, because the synchronization scope is all. This means one synthetic network endpoint is created for LDAP AS monitoring, corresponding to the entire managed domain. The correct answer is A, 1.
You need to determine if three specific synchronization scenarios are true or false. 1. If you add a user named user1 to OU1 in contoso.com, will they sync with the AAD DC users OU in domain1.onmicrosoft.com? 2. If you add a user named user2 to OU2 in the managed domain, will they sync with fabricam.com? 3. If you add a user named user3 to fabricam.com, will they sync with the users container in domain1.onmicrosoft.com?
I believe the correct answer is yes for the first statement and no for the remaining two. Synchronization in an Azure AD Domain Services environment is strictly one way, flowing only from Microsoft Entra ID to the managed domain. For the first statement, objects created in the on-premises contoso.com domain synchronize to Microsoft Entra ID, and from there they flow into the managed domain, landing in the AAD DC users OU. Therefore, the first statement is true.
Regarding the second statement, objects created directly within the Azure AD DS managed domain do not synchronize back to Microsoft Entra ID or the on-premises domain. Because this is a one-way synchronization, the statement is false. Finally, for the third statement, while users in Microsoft Entra ID do synchronize to the managed domain, they are placed in the AAD DC users OU by default, not the legacy users container. Thus, that statement is false. Always remember, Azure AD DS does not push changes back.